Local community organizing relies on profound emotional labor and localized trust. It operates through invisible networks of relationships, functioning entirely outside of formal institutional frameworks. A specific field specimen illustrates the dynamic: a 50-50 church raffle run by a community ministry. A volunteer won the raffle but quietly redirected the prize money. He sent it to the family of an incarcerated individual who was left behind to handle the bills. He intended to leave no mark. Paradoxically, the attempt to give quietly generated a highly legible signal of public virtue. The community pulled him onto the public radar. A local organizer posted on Facebook, praising him as a brainiac and valuable. Broadcasting the act forced him to deflect the spotlight. The post used hashtags like #addiction and #recovery to categorize acts within the broader network. He executed a strategy to decenter the narrative. He reassigned credit to the ministry, minimized his agency by claiming he just happened to buy the lucky ticket, and relocated the frame back to the beneficiary. While this social dynamic of decentering praise is effective for the individual, it masks a severe organizational vulnerability. Informal, high-trust community actions are financially brittle. Grassroots community goodwill is currently measured and moved through personal, peer-to-peer transactions. A 50-50 raffle serves as a thermometer of community warmth. However, the financial capacity is strictly limited to the size of the organizer's immediate social graph. These networks rely on a mechanical nightmare of manual tracking across disparate personal payment apps like Venmo, Cash App, and Zelle. This fragile web contrasts with the rigid requirements of formal institution building needed for actual scale. Solving the legibility bottleneck is the requirement for transitioning ephemeral support into a durable institution. Without institutional legibility, effective grassroots programs fail to secure sustainable funding, leading to founder burnout. Beyond social dynamics, these fundraisers trigger hidden legal liabilities for the organizers. In Pennsylvania, these events are governed by small games of chance laws. The PA Code defines specific monetary thresholds that transition a friendly raffle into a legally regulated gaming event. A single prize over $500, or total monthly prizes over $5,000, triggers special permit requirements. A small games of chance license cannot be granted to an individual. It requires formal nonprofit status and county treasurer filings. Running a raffle through personal Venmo and Cash App accounts creates immediate operational risk for a ministry leader. Commingling charitable and personal funds creates 1099-K tax liabilities that land directly on the individual founder. A compliance shield, such as fiscal sponsorship, protects the founder's personal livelihood while the work continues. Institutional grant-makers fund legible, measurable outcomes. They do not prioritize general good intentions. This community ministry already possesses immense raw assets, including a lived experience curriculum and over 800 teaching videos. Crossing the bottleneck requires converting these raw, emotional assets into a standardized 2-page impact dossier. Constructing a dossier for potential funders requires adherence to a specific rule of data. Use exact, bracketed placeholders for real numbers. State clearly that 31 participants completed the program rather than estimating. There is a constant temptation to use round, impressive statistics to sound more professional. Specific, smaller numbers build institutional trust. Broad, unverified claims do not. The impact dossier acts as a bridge, translating grassroots credibility into the language of institutional capital. In the initial raffle donation, the money bypassed the incarcerated individual to support the family paying the bills. That redirection identified an underserved, emotionally legible mission field. Leaving this support as a one-off event makes it dependent on the unpredictable success of raffles. Formalizing this serendipitous event creates a permanent, structured family bridge fund. Structure giving tiers to tie specific dollar amounts to concrete outcomes, such as funding a family's utilities for a month. Translating a random act of charity into a structured micro-program moves the organization toward durable support. Systems thinkers provide more than financial donations or public praise. Their role is to take unrefined lived experience and cast it into the rigid formats that institutions recognize. This process converts authentic impact into the data structures required by grant makers and compliance boards. This transformation relies on 3 pillars: decentering the individual, establishing legal protection, and structuring measurable outcomes. Providing this structural architecture protects founders from burnout and legal risk. Solving the legibility bottleneck creates the repeatable cycle of support required to change a community over the long term.